one of the things I wanted to talk tonight about first is our own individual understanding of what narcissism looks like, because it's not the same for everybody. And it's become a really universal term. And I would like to, kind of clear the air and figure out like what it means to you. So I do a lot of this stuff where like I go around the room and I'll call your name. And if you do not want to talk, you do not have to talk. If you would like to talk with me, that's great. But please don't feel any pressure. Kim is new. Hi, Kim. Welcome. How are you? So again, you don't have to talk. But if you don't know how to talk, you turn on your mic. Amelia, thanks for being here. So I want to go over something really quick. And it is basically like a condensed version of what narcissism is. So I did this list the other day, and I came up with narcissism is a personality that is skilled with sometimes an inconspicuous way of knocking us off our feet. As time goes on, we find that we are destabilized. They have emotionally abused us to a point where we are no longer able to function. We function maybe out of fear. I don't know. So narcissism, if you think about like what autism looks like, and this has just been my studies and my belief, is that it exists on a spectrum, right? So people who sometimes come to me say, oh my gosh, like I feel like my partner is a narcissist. And one of the first things I will always say is, okay, so they can have narcissistic traits and not fully be a narcissist in terms of what the DSM identifies, but it doesn't mean that they're not mean and terrible and awful, right? They don't have to have a clinical name. But on the flip side of that, narcissism is also very, very closely related to what borderline personality looks like. A lot of clinicians, especially even as short as 5 years ago, were mixing the two. The symptoms and the traits are so very, very, very common. Sometimes we need a little bit more. Like we need a little bit more of the, what happened when did this happen? Like, tell me about the story until we do that. So this is why sometimes it even gets brushed under the rug and no one sees it. Because it's a really difficult thing, especially if your person is covert, because they are masterminds. They never let anyone see anything else other than this, like, polished, perfect person. So I heard Amelia say that she was no contact. What did you say, for a month, Amelia?
A little bit over 4 weeks. Yes. September 1st.
Okay. So you're 1 month and 1 day. Wonderful.
Yep.
So a lot of times when we are in this situation, we're incapable of seeing things out of our own perspective, because we're so interested in making sure that we see things their way to make them happy. So narcissists, like you guys know, are addicted to attention. Tell me what the antidote to this would be. I'm big with this word because I am a problem solver therapist. I don't come with problems. I come with solutions. I'm solution focused. So accepting our well-being is going to try and empower us. And last session, we talked about like what mindful self-compassion looks like. When we acknowledge and name what has happened to us, it gives us clarity. When we don't want to talk about it and we want to hide it because we are ashamed or we feel whatever feeling we feel, it hinders us. So speaking our truth always, and figuring, and this is hard because I have been in your shoes. Trusting somebody is very hard. Trusting that this person isn't going to stab you back, or stab you in the back is very, very hard, especially when it's family. So I hope you guys can understand like where this catch-22 comes in, where, yeah, we need to make ourselves vulnerable and we need to be able to start trusting. But here we have mindfulness, self-compassion, which tells us, oh my gosh, like I'm not sure that I can do this because I feel like the last time I did this, that Joe and Frank and Cindy hurt me. And yeah, that might be true. That really might be true. But what's to say that it wouldn't have that the same thing would happen again? So the catch-22 about this is that we ask for you to trust your instincts and be like, oh, you know what? Like, I am not having a good feeling about this. I really don't want to do this. Okay, then don't. My first affirmation is I come first. And one of my ones that is about 10 or 12 down is my feelings matter. And I feel like you guys really need to start listening to what that means and understanding that, yeah, you absolutely do come first and your feelings do matter. Listen, if your narcissist says that your feelings don't matter to him or her, okay, they didn't matter anyway. They literally didn't matter. And here you are now trying to move forward and you're still stuck with that same mindset. So this burden of weight is like really heavy, right? I always think about it as like, and the only reason I think about it is because I've had to do it. It's like move my husband's punching bag. It's like this punching bag that's taller than me. And my movers don't always move it. We're military. And they don't like to touch it because I guess it's a good one. I don't know. I drag it on the floor because they make me move it. But sometimes acknowledging that we have been a victim, right? And you guys know I do not like this word, but sometimes we need to call a spade a spade. When we have been a victim of emotional abuse, it brings up shame. It brings up our damaged self-esteem. And what I have to tell you guys is that these feelings are really, really normal. Like I would, if you didn't have these feelings, I would think there would be something wrong. But the fact that you have them, or if you don't, then please tell me. And there's nothing wrong with you either way. But having these feelings is very, very normal. So I just real quick want to welcome the ones who just came in. Shoot, I forgot where I left off. So I'll just start with Tracy, Dana, Heather, Shannon, Jeff, Jillian, Kelly. So let me ask you guys a question. This is the exercise. I'm going to go through the room. Again, if you do not want to talk, you don't have to talk. I will immediately pass on to the next person. But if you feel like I missed you, raise your hands and I'll get back to you. This is a question. We all have a dream about what we want our futures to look like. Maybe now that we've acknowledged that this narcissist is in our life, why do you want this to change? Why do you want to heal? Your why is important in remembering that this why is going to help you move forward. I'm going to start with Kristen, sorry.
Well, for me, it was 12-year relationship, and it just kept getting like worse and worse. He's 61 and never been married, and I'm 53. And so like the future faking, okay, it was like he could have retired a while ago, but he kept saying, okay, we'll do it next year. And then we're going to, get a place in Florida, and he knows I have fibromyalgia and I'm ready to get out of North Carolina. And then literally the devalue. I mean, I've thought to myself, why is he even with me? Like, so he hates me. Every time that I was around him, I saw just contempt and hatred. So it was just easy for me one day because, well, it was actually Labor Day. So it's been a month. His daughter and her husband, they were at the lake house. Like we've never lived together. So there's just multiple houses. Let me just leave it at that. And where we would meet on the weekend, would be his lake house. And so they were acting kind of funny toward me. And then when she left, we always tell each other, oh, Paris texted you or so-and-so texted you. It's never been like kind of holding back. And I saw where she texted her dad, said, hey Dad, sorry I wasn't very talkative this weekend, but Kristen was getting on my last night. So I immediately texted her from my phone, and I was like, Paris, I'm sorry if I was getting on your nerves. I don't understand what I did, but I can take criticism, and if you would just talk to me. She's not even spoke since. She's never replied to it. When he immediately saw it, and I told him, this is what Paris, he said, you stupid fucking bitch, you probably traumatized her. And I said, traumatized her by texting her I was sorry. And then I was like, okay, that's it. And then he texted her, and so this is the first time he's ever done anything in writing. It's always been like where I can't prove it, like words to me. He texted to her, she monitors my phone. She sees no wrong in herself. She is what she is. And so when he was asleep, I snapped a screenshot of that, what she said and what he said, and I moved all my stuff out, and that's it. He saw it on the camera, obviously, that I moved all my stuff out of the lake house, but he's not contacted me. I've not contacted him. He owes me $7,000. It's just, I mean, that was all I needed. I said, I finally got something in writing. He calls me a what? He always said, women are objects. Well, he would say that to me. Women are objects.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for trusting us and sharing. Yes. I appreciate that, Kristen. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember what your question was? I just want to make sure, because I'm gonna talk to Morgan.
Can you repeat it again, Christine, please?
Yeah. So hold on, let me get my paper. We all have a dream of what we want our future to be. Why do you want to heal? And your why is important. Remember why your why will help you move forward. You can always say skip me. You don't ever have to question.
To me, that question is confusing. I'm sorry.
Honey, you're good. Talk. You can talk. The floor is yours.
I'm just saying that question is confusing. I don't even know where to begin.
Okay. So when we talk about this, we think about how we want our life to be and why. Because our why is always very important to us. Like, why do you want, okay, hold on. It's important to me that I marry a man who doesn't drink because I have been in AA. So that why is very important. I want a man who respects my virginity and doesn't want to have sex until I get married. That is your why, right? So I'm asking you, will remembering your why help you move forward? Since a lot of times we let our guard down. That's what I'm asking you. Go ahead,
Heather has her hand.
Hi there, this is Heather.
Hi.
Hi. So remembering my why, boy, I forgot my wife so long ago. Being in this narcissistic, trauma bonding, love bombing marriage. And as I look back and I think about what my why is today, and my why for me leaving today is that I'm not going to have the children that I wanted, but I want to have joy and peace in my life. And I don't have that currently. And And that for me is so important, is knowing that who I am and what I am, and then that I'm a valuable, amazing woman. So it's my why to keep pursuing and keep moving every day. I don't have any thoughts of any other relationship, because I'm not even out of this one. And I don't even know if that's a possibility at this point. I'm 53. And I think just really wanting, I got into my marriage wanting a family, wanting a child, and having all of those things. And I know that that is not going to happen. But today the why is being peaceful with myself and being at peace with just having myself and my joy and my heart again.
Oh, honey, I love that.
I'm
Thank you. Thanks. No, thanks for being so honest with us. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hey, Tracy, what about you?
Hi, Heather, like you, I forgot my why for a long time also, but I'm starting to sort of remember the why. I don't want to be that same person because I've learned so much. But first and foremost, I want a healthy relationship with myself. I want to be impeccable with my word and my life, not perfect, but just and full of joy. Not only with myself first and foremost, but then so that, and I'm 54, and if, partnership happens again in my life, I want to be a very transformed human being, and be the healthiest version of myself in all ways that I can be. So that is my why. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, guys. So one of the ways that we can help ourselves, get beyond this point, right? Get beyond this stuckness of like no contact, having thinking about no contact, or even dealing with what no contact looks like for us. We can take like an inventory of what our, and I'm using air quotes, abuse looks like. And I'm not using them because I don't think it's real. I'm using it because everyone's definition of abuse is different. So there's a checklist here. And if you guys have the option to have a piece of paper or a pen handy, like maybe think about this. And I want to say hi to Jamie and Hope, James, hello, Allie, Kelly, Jilly, Jeff, Shannon, Dana, Heather, I've spoken to you. I think I've gotten everyone else. If I didn't, I apologize. So if you have a piece of paper, just like, write these down. So there are abusive things that can be psychological or emotional, right? There's things that are financial. There's things that are physical. There's things that are, digital now that we have our day and age. But the ones I want to concentrate most on are the psychological and the emotional ones. Name calling, yelling, controlling what you can or cannot do, withholding information, denying access to money or other resources, stalking, convincing you that you are crazy, threatening suicide if you leave, threatening to kill loved ones or pets, destroying something that is very important to you. And one of the biggest ones, the ones I actually think should be at the top of this list, but it's not, is blaming you for their abusive behavior. Oh, well, if you didn't make me do it, then I wouldn't do it. Where are we at, guys? 2, 4, 6. There's 11 of them there. Where are we at? Who has more than 5? Who has more than 7? Who has more than 10? Okay. So you guys have been here for a while, like with the exception of James. You haven't really been here very often, very, very, very long. But I mean, these are things that you guys know, right? Like we have these red flags. So here's the next one. This is physical or violent. Give yourself, like, write it down if it's physical assault, physical restraint, preventing you from eating or sleeping. Now, this does not mean that you can't sleep or eat because, like, it's ruminating in your mind. It means that someone is physically stopping you. Sexual assault. There's only 4 there. So I'm going to say, from a clinical perspective, if you have more than 2, then that's an issue. You don't have to raise your hands. Yes, Heather.
Yeah, well, I was just
Heather, did you want to talk?
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely have experienced that. And it's
so that
it's been very traumatic.
So next we have, yeah, of course. Next we have financial and digital, and I'm going to put them into one because there's only 7 of them of the markers. Financial is not allowing you to go to work or school, and I do know that there's several people that are in the Circles community who are not allowed to go to work. I don't really know about school. What the next one is, controlling money. The third one is stealing money or your possessions to make you kind of conform. Hope this applies to anybody, honey. And the fourth part of the financial is creating a dependency where, like, you can't leave. So I was actually thinking about this literally this morning at 6:30 when I left Rhode Island. I was thinking, oh, it's so funny. My son forgot his eggs because I hard boiled like a dozen eggs for him because he lives in a dorm in the Coast Guard Academy. And I was like, all right, well, he just forgot them. And then I thought, like, he has eggs at his beck and call because it's a military academy. He can have a hard boiled egg whenever he wants. But I still felt bad. And so I started driving, and it's a little over 7-hour drive. So I had a lot of time to think. And I was thinking, like, why do I feel so bad? You know why? This is the reason I came up with. Is because I did it for my son and he forgot them. That's why I felt bad. Like, yes, he can get all this shit at the academy. He can do whatever he wants to do. He could, he has a Starbucks. It's fine. He's fine. But I did this for him, and I didn't drive 7 hours not to cater to him, to tell you the truth. But like, I kind of felt like a little bit of like, WTF, Liam? Like, why did you not remember the eggs? So that was a little bit of like, not so much a financial, but more like, like a psychological for me, because I was like trying to figure out like why he forgot them. But the truth is that he's 19 and he literally has no idea what's going on most of the time. So he does what he's supposed to do. He does everything he's supposed to do, but like all the reality stuff out the wayside. The last thing we have is the digital era. And I don't know if you guys even, this is more about social media. So I don't know how many of you, like, are you guys involved in social media, like where social media affects your life? Can I see your hands? James, can you do me a favor? Can you explain how social media affects your life?
Yeah, hold on.
What's up?
Hold on, I had to go to a quiet place. So I do business as far as marketing and stuff on there, and a lot of my friends, they're really some of them are really high up in the business that I do with music and photography and stuff like that, and so that's how it affects my life. But I will fit every category that you offer when it comes to digital, whatever you're about to say.
So my digital background is very limited to like social media and maybe that the new catfishing thing, but I really don't understand it, so I try not to get involved in it. I feel like that's way over my head. But I want to hear what your healthy response to anger is. When you feel anger. Hey Queen. Hey Pamela. Hey Ollie. When you have a response to anger and a healthy one, tell me how it feels. Or tell me what a healthy response to anger is. I don't want to poll the room. I just want a couple answers, guys. Dana, what is a healthy response for anger? Crap, is she one of the ones that's in the... No, she's good.
I don't know.
Oh.
Just voicing your position calmly and moving on, making sure you get your point across.
Perfect. Hope, what about you?
Oh, I'm sorry, my mic was on. I don't know if this is necessarily healthy, but sometimes, like, if I do, it helps me get motivated. Like, if I'm frozen, it helps keep me kind of out of that state and back into functioning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and is this when you're with your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Heather.
Oops, there we go. I would say, I mean, I had an incident this morning with my my husband, and I was getting angry on the phone, I was feeling angry inside, and so I didn't want to continue that, and the way the conversation was going, and so I just politely said, "I'm done with this conversation." I said, "Have a nice day," and hung up. So I'm still in the midst of trying to deal with these things, but at this point now, it's really has to go completely 100% no contact, because it's there is no having a conversation anymore, and I've realized anytime there's any kind of conversation, it's just anger, and then I'm left feeling utterly defeated and emotionally drained, and like just the juice sucked right out of me. It did motivate me to get a lot of my my divorce papers in intact and get those moving today. So I did put that anger in that direction, and then also getting on circles. So I'm just making sure that I'm here in a supportive group, that and just hearing other people's stories, and
Honey, I
everything
think it's
that,
amazing, and
yes,
what you've done is hard. This has been a hard thing, and please don't let anyone, like sway you otherwise. This has been a difficult thing. Like, you've done a good job. I'm here to tell you did a good job.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. It's been a lot. It's been a long lot of years and a lot of gaslighting, and I mean, to the point where I was told to leave my home because my stepdaughter was coming home for her 21st birthday, 26 of her UCLA sorority sisters home, and she didn't want me at the house. And that started 9.5 years ago. So,
honey, I'm sorry about that. That's
it's
terrible.
it's just been a lot of stuff, and I've tried all the therapy, and I've tried everything, and I've realized that, again, I have zero power over anybody else except myself and how I react to it.
Well, I appreciate your accountability. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Taylor.
Hi. The only thing I really have for this one is just making it funny, just having humor. That's the only, I've always just, tried to make a joke out of it, or, my friends are all stand-ups. Just, you have more material, I guess. That's really, I'm looking for new ways if you have any suggestions, Christine.
What, for stand-up? No, I do not.
No, no, just for the anger, because I have a lot of built up anger because I've always suppressed it. So the only way I can let it out is deflecting with humor. So I don't know if you have any other suggestions.
So deflecting like anger in general is a little bit different, and we treat it a little bit differently. I don't know like how far you've gone with other people. I don't know if you want to explore that with me, but anger is not something that you really deal with in this group. So you can let me know, Taylor. I know you have my information. But I mean, listen, we're all pissed off. We're all angry that someone did this to us. And we're all kind of in the same boat in terms of being angry about not being able to control like what we thought our future or our relationship looked like. And that's okay. No, I'm not okay. It's not okay, but I'm saying it's okay that we're all here to look at the same thing. So the healthy responses to anger should look more like having deep breaths, right? Surrendering to this incident and think about what we value about ourselves. Replacing negative thoughts, right? I always say when we have an ant, we have to replace it with something different. We have to replace it with something that we value about ourselves that is true, right? Oftentimes, our ants are very irrational. They are irrational thoughts put in our head by someone who really didn't respect us. So we need to kind of get out of this state and allow ourselves to see ourselves as other people see us. That was a crazy kind of sentence, right? So we have 20 minutes left. I want to ask about a situation that you guys have had, maybe about a difficult situation that you had where your narcissist was doing something and you handled it in what you thought was a positive way. Let me hear you guys. You guys are a lot more creative and a lot more powerful than you think. Go ahead, James.
So, in all the situations that occurred, I just I honestly thought about the human inside and just tried to what's the C word I'm looking for? Be compassionate with her and like hold her and tell her, everything's gonna be okay. Type of deal like that, despite the fact of everything that was happening to me. So I guess that would answer your question. I believe.
Okay. Anyone else? Story of our life where we're questioning our judgment. Yeah, Hope.
Sometimes, like Taylor, I would use humor and kind of diffuse the situation.
Often, yes.
Yes.
How'd that leave you feeling? Hope.
A little relieved if it stopped the circular conversation. But if it was aggressive, like, they're passive aggressive sometimes, that could be hurtful. But like if they come up at me and just keep going and going, sometimes I would just laugh. I'm like, I couldn't help it. Like, just be like, chill out, man. Just relax. And eventually I could get them to laugh, and that felt better. But if it got to like where it was going back and forth, no.
All right. Who else? Go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, I just with mine, he kept threatening to kill himself, but I was the one really getting abused. So, one time I had to go pick him up from the hospital after he just got done abusing me and telling his therapist he wanted to kill himself, but because he hurt me. So I just, I went to pick him up. I just kind of confronted him about things in front of people, and that's when he for the first time, aggressive in public and arrested. So I think if you wait long enough and you just stay calm and you keep confronting them about their bullshit, eventually they do kind of expose themselves.
Oh, Taylor, I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you. I'm so sorry. I do. You can't wait until they get you cannot wait until they get aggressive. Like I'm like, my words are all stumbled now. Honey, your best idea, like, you're a smart girl. Like, I mean, I've heard about you. Like, you're studying. Your best idea was for him to wait until he got aggressive.
In public, I mean, because he was doing it behind closed doors, and then he'd go to cry to his therapist and stuff and say,
right, but even in public, it didn't happen. Like, he was fine.
Yeah. And that's the only way I could, without it, where I would lose everything, because he was trying to get me kicked out of my house. He told the police, because he just got done throwing me in a hot shower and scalding me, but he told the police he wanted to kill himself because we were arguing, and they asked me to leave for the night because I finally was angry, like, this is crazy.
Where did your kids go?
My daughter was with her grandma, but they were asking me to leave for the night because I was so visibly upset. You know what I mean? They were asking me to leave my own home. So they took him to the hospital, and I said, I'm not going to leave my home. He's obviously not safe to be around himself, let alone me. And then when I went to pick him up, that's when he got aggressive. But I mean, if I would have continued talking to these police and getting angrier and angrier, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to let it play out at this point.
Gotcha.
Because they don't, clearly they see him as a victim, or maybe they just didn't want to deal with it. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you always being here, Taylor. And I appreciate you giving you have a lot of insight into things where people can, get a story, learn a story, do something about it. I always appreciate that. So if this was a positive way that we dealt with it, what would a negative way look like? Because I have a self-acceptance. Oh, go ahead, Hope.
It's like the little picking, and then the one last pick in front of someone in public, and then I respond, and I look like, wow, that was out of the way I am. I'm normally pretty chill, but then it looks like I'm the bad person when I react, But I can only handle so much picking until that happens. And
no, I understand. No, I get it. I get what
there's
you're saying.
no fighting with them. There's no, and you just gray rock so much, but even that, all that stuff still comes at you all day long.
So what I want to do with you guys, because my sessions, because I'm back to back, I want to do a self-acceptance meditation, what it looks like. So, this is an emotional roller coaster that you guys have been on, whether you have been traumatized by words, whether you've been traumatized sexually, like trauma is trauma, right? And the way that we treat it is often very much the same. So I want you guys to sit. If you can, put your feet on the ground, feet flat, palms of your hands on your thighs. Take a full breath through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale again and say, I have not been victimized. Trust me, please. As you exhale, say, I was a victim. And do this 10 times. Now I want you guys to stand up if you can and walk around your house or your space. And do it with your head held high. Put your shoulders back. Stick your chest out if you have to. Eyes open. And kind of feel a new sense of yourself. This is our self-acceptance meditation. This is something you guys should do when we feel that we have been victimized, because I don't like the word victim, when we have been used to feed, their I can't think of the word, but their never-ending quest to feel validated. We have to start doing things for ourselves. And this is where this is going to start. Narcissists usually gravitate towards people that they can see and mirror them, like, oh, you know what? I feel like this person is like right up my alley. Okay, that might be. They might ask, do you put others' needs before yours? And because we're empathic, we're like, absolutely. I totally do that. How many people feel like that might have been something that they remember? Yeah. And it's at that point where I feel like sometimes it's very difficult to ask for what we need. And that's where we get lost. We lose that. Right? So thriving beyond this, we have to start understanding where we were at the beginning, what we were initially looking for, what we found, and then what we ended up with. So thriving beyond is a lot more than just like picking up the pieces and being like, oh, okay, now I move forward. It's not. It's thinking about like who we were. Who were you? And then thinking about moving forward. Any thoughts, guys? Everyone's so quiet today on a Monday night. Kind of crazy. It's a weird Monday night. Yeah, Tracy.
I love that you validated looking back at who we were through my process, and 9 months later, I feel like I look at the end where there was so much reactive abuse on my part, not physically, but, just yelling or, just in so much frustration. And so I have a lot of shame around who I was in the end. So thank you for putting that into perspective, that I'm okay to look back at who I was and just kind of allowing myself to sit with that for a little bit.
Thank you. And you know what, honestly, Tracy, there you are. You are encompassing what mindful self-compassion looks like.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
It's hard
welcome.
to do that sometimes. So
there's no doubt. This is why I do it a couple times a week. There's no doubt in my mind.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do have to go because I have to go do notes for the groups that we were just in. But I do want to tell you that I will be back in a few minutes to do Zip It, Your Inner Critic. I also do want to ask you guys if there's something that you need that's more. I do have this. I have 3 spots left open. You can always click on my name. I have a private room that's going on that talks specifically more about like what mindful self-compassion looks like. It's a 10-week program. And if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, that's okay. But if you can get there, get there. And if not, then maybe I'll see you in the next 9 minutes. And if not, maybe tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a great, great day. Like me and follow me if you haven't done so. And please leave me your feedback. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.